Hi guys, my name is Afi and I'm a transfer student at Berea College, and the primary reason why I'm creating this video is because I remember wanting to transfer to Berea and Googling how to go about it and what other people's experiences were like, and I literally scanned through all of YouTube, but I couldn't really find any content about it when I was going through it. And so now that I've been here for 2 years and I've kind of learned how to maneuver my way through this college, I only feel it necessary to kind of like pass on what I've learned, because I do believe that other people would find this beneficial. And so I'm hoping that you got here by searching for material about this, because right now most people that are subscribed to this channel are close friends and family. It is relatively new, but if a search brought you here, you're the reason why I created this, and I hope that you find the content that I provide useful. The only thing I'd say is, like, if you have any comments or questions, just write them down below and I will try my best to get to them as soon as possible. So anyways, let's get right to it. This video will be divided into two parts. The first part will be just like vital information that you will also find on the Berea College website about how to go about the transfer process and the kind of materials that you need to provide, and I'll brush on it very quickly. And the second part of this video will personally be about my experience transferring in, sort of like what that went like and some of the hurdles that I encountered. So yeah, sit tight and I hope you enjoy this video. Alrighty, so now getting right to it. First things first, Berea College is dedicated to academic excellence. So that is something that you should know, that this college has extremely high standards and your transcript and your grades really matter. So there is a criteria. If you have a GPA below a certain amount, you can't apply, but they've set the bar in a way that it still leaves room for people who may have had turbulence or hurdles in their life that kind of hindered them from performing to the best of their academic capacities. So you can still apply, and even though it's really, really hard to get in as a transfer student, if you don't have the best grades in the world, do not let that stop you from applying anyways, because Berea College is a transformative college that is really dedicated to uplifting its students. So they don't just care about where you've been, they also care about where you aim to go. They also care about the hurdles that you overcame in the way, because that matters, you know? It's not all about straight A's. It's about what you've overcome in life. It's about what you're passionate about. And I really do believe as a student that Berea sees that. By the way, this video is not sponsored. Nobody's making me do this. I'm doing this of my own free will, so everything that I'm saying is based off of my own personal experience. So yeah, I really don't think that you should let that stop you, because your journey matters. And you can talk all about that in your personal essay, which is another key component of your transfer application. So I think that is kind of your platform, and that is where you have the ability to show these people who are going to be going through your application who you really are and what you aim to stand for in life and what you've stood for in the past. So most of the students that I've met at Berea are so strong and they have overcome so much, and they consistently inspire me. So I really do look at Berea College as a hub for some of the strongest people I have met. Strength is something that is really valued at this campus. So yeah, if you have a story, you probably have a place at Berea. Of course, considering that we have the seats available. Like, there's a limited number of people who do get accepted based off of the resources that the campus has. But anyways, so once you turn that in, you also need a few letters of recommendation, and I would suggest your professors, go to people that you've worked for who know you well, because I think people who do know you well, and in a positive way of course, will provide feedback that really lets the institution know what you're about and who you are in a better light. Go for people who know you fairly well, that are not family members, obviously. So yeah, you also need to turn in your SAT scores and your ACT scores and your high school transcripts, but you'll get the whole list on the website. And you know what? I will link that below in the description of this video. So once you're done with all of that, you basically have to sit tight and wait for the results to come through. The only thing that I do want to say is that in my own experience, I've learned that it's super important to have a backup for your backup. So don't just apply to one place. I would suggest apply to multiple different campuses that kind of align with what you're looking for and the type of education that you want. And yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope that it turns out super well for you. And now, moving on to the second part of the video, which is my personal experience with transferring to Berea College. So, I came in fall 2018, which was 2 years ago, and I was so excited because currently I live in Texas and Kentucky is halfway across the country. It's super far away, and incredibly enough, I had never been to Kentucky. I had no idea what the campus looked like, so I was going in with a blank slate in my mind. I really didn't know what to expect. And so I went in and I was super nervous. So anyways, when I did get to Berea, I got put into the Seabury dorm, and I would personally say that it is my favorite dorm. I absolutely love it, even though this year they kind of switched it up because they rotate the boys and girls dorms. They made it a boys dorm now, so girls no longer live in it, but I lived in it for 2 years and they were 2 happy years. Okay. We're emotional about that, but besides the point. So I got there and I got there alone. But luckily enough, there were alumni and other members that work for the college that were there to help me take all of my luggage into my dorm, and that was super, super sweet because, you know, it's a huge help. You come in with all this stuff and you don't know what to expect, and to just have like that community waiting for you on that receiving end ready to like help you settle in is super helpful. We were all given these elaborate flyers that detailed what we had to do on a daily basis because the orientation team organized a whole bunch of stuff for us to do together. So we could learn more about the college, so we could learn more about our peers and about the community in general. And a lot of our orientation was kind of integrated with freshman orientation, so we were together for a lot of those different parts. I'm not gonna lie, I skipped a lot of them because the first couple of days I went to every single thing, but then I found myself exhausted because we were very booked. And so eventually I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap. Not my proudest confession, but it is what it is. So anyways, we had joint orientation with the freshmen, and one thing that I distinctly remember and I have to speak about is that they had this moment where they brought out all the international students who were holding up their flags to show which countries they were from. At the end of that, they had somebody come out holding a flag with a butterfly. And that particular butterfly is known for traveling. It is known for migrating. They spoke about how they wanted to use that for people who had a wandering history, who did not belong to one particular place, but were in movement. And it also represented refugees and immigrants and asylum seekers and all that you can categorize in that multicultural umbrella. And I remember that touched me very deeply because I come from a background of a lot of moving and I've lived in multiple different places. To see that butterfly made me feel represented because I was like, wow, that's really pretty. Somebody acknowledges people who don't originate from just a single place. And so yeah, that really touched me and I was really happy because I think that was the first time in my life where I saw that being accounted for. So yeah, I was really, really happy about that. Anyways, other than the orientation, as far as friends are concerned, I got super lucky in that department because they organized a couple of transfer student dinners where you could like meet up with other transfer students or just like students in general that were there to mentor from the orientation team and get to know them, so you kind of could build a network. However, I met my friends through other means and I'm so glad that I did. They are incredible and they're still my best friends. So basically how it happened for me was that I'm really, really bad at directions. So I was simply walking around campus completely lost and I needed to get to Phelps Stokes. So there were basically two girls walking in front of me. One of their names is Shaylin and the other one is Emily. And I saw them in front of me and I was like, hey guys! And yes, I really am doing this on video. And they were like, hi! And I said, "Are you going to Phelps Stokes?" Which they said yes to. And I simply asked, "Is it okay if I follow you?" To which Shaylin responded, and yes, I'm gonna name drop them. She looked back at me and she was like, "Nah, girl, but you can join us." And so Emily also nodded along, and so I joined them and we walked to Phelps Stokes together. And later that night, we met another Emily. And when I tell you guys, these three people are my rock at Berea. I met them on the very first day of school. Later that night, we went to Taco Bell. We went to McDonald's. We jumped a fence. It was a whole wild little night. But yeah, we're still the best of friends and I value them so much. I'm going to input a little picture because these girls mean so much to me. So yeah, it was a beautiful little start to my Berea journey. And I hope that you're as lucky as I was when you get here and finding your people. So beyond all the fun stuff now, let's get to the real jazz, which is academics. I'm gonna straight up tell you, Berea is a lot of work. Do not expect something easy breezy beautiful because it is tough. You might cry. It'll be difficult in the beginning just because I feel like coming in as a transfer student, and a lot of my other transfer student friends can relate, the academic expectations of Berea are significantly higher than other institutions that you may be coming in from, unless you're coming in from another liberal arts college, because I have seen that liberal arts colleges in general just expect a greater amount of reading and writing. So anyways, it was an adjustment for sure, but you have so many resources available on campus. Do not feel afraid to ask teachers for help. Do not feel afraid to tell them that, "Hey, I'm a little overwhelmed. How do you think I should go about this?" Because they might link you up with the right person who will be able to kind of help you maneuver your way through it all, you know? So yeah, I was definitely overwhelmed my first semester because it was a lot, truly. But I really think it's about what you put into your work. The more hard work you put in, the greater your results will be. So I would just say try your best, but remember that it's not all about the grades. Your mental health matters, your well-being matters, and yeah, you just have to kind of like aim to find that balance between having a social life and being academically successful. And as you're working your way through it, you will get to a point where it all kind of like integrates, you know, and it all works out in the end. But just hang in there. Don't feel afraid to speak up and ask for help when you need it, because people at Berea really want to help. That's another thing. Berea has an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio, so professors really give you that one-on-one individual attention, and when you need help, you will have people willing to listen and willing to direct you in the right places. So yeah, that's something that you can look forward to. Other than that, we all have a labor program. The first job that I had in my first semester was working in retail for the Loghouse Craft Gallery, and I could make a whole nother blog, not a blog, but like I guess a video. I could make a whole other video about what that experience was like and show you around the log house. If that's something that you're interested in, again, comment below. But it was a really fun experience. It's like you work 10 to 15 hours based off of your contract, and you get in some extra money that helps you buy items that you might need or want. I spent the majority of my money buying these like chocolate and M&M covered Oreos from the Loghouse Craft Gallery. And they were like $3 an Oreo, really not worth it, but I would get hungry working there and I'd be like, Oreo, please. Don't do that, please. Like, that's such a waste of money, but it tasted good, so am I really mad about it? I am, but it's fine. Anyways, yeah, like I had a pretty smooth time at Berea, like after I settled in. The first year was tough. It was difficult in a lot of ways. Oh, pro tip. This is something that I learned the hard way, and I couldn't really have done anything about it, but your roommate really, really, really matters. Who you're living with, how you guys share that space can really make or break your experience. So I would say once you're accepted as a transfer student and you are paired up with somebody, get to know them super well before you get on campus and start living with them, because sometimes people just aren't compatible with you, their values don't align, or you just don't agree with their habits. Whatever your reasons may be, I would say get to know who you're about to sign up to live with, because that could be a hot mess. So yeah, be mindful of that. Currently, I have an amazing roommate who I love and care for deeply, and she makes living in Berea so much fun for me. But I can tell you for a fact, a lot of people struggle with the people that they're paired up with, and it's just not a fun time. So I would say be careful with that. Ooh, another key component that I don't want to forget about is geographical location. So I live in Sugar Land, Texas, which is around 30 minutes away from Houston. And even though I live in the suburbs, the city is just like a 15-minute drive away. So moving to Berea was a massive adjustment because it is in a rural area and I wasn't used to it. There's a lot of beautiful things that you can do, like go canoeing and hike the pinnacles and a whole bunch of cute stuff. But I definitely felt a little overwhelmed after the first few weeks because I was very used to like the city life and just having more people, because I think Berea is such a tight-knit tiny community of 1,600 students that for people who come from bigger cities it's like, what, you know? And so I didn't really know much about Richmond and Lexington, but these are cities that are close. They're like 20 and 50 minutes away, and they just have a bigger pool. EKU and UK are close by, so you can always associate with and like socialize with those people when you want to just escape the Berea bubble and get to know people beyond your college. So that's a fun little thing that brought me peace once I sort of like learned about it. And yeah, I had a lot of fun at Berea. I've never been an outdoorsy person. I'm very lazy by nature. And so Berea kind of pushed me to do things that were out of my comfort zone, but I've enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, so far that's what I have for you guys. If you have any particular questions, like I said, just like comment down below and I will try my best to get to them. I hope that this helps and I hope this gives you some insight that you find useful. And yeah, I look forward to producing more videos, hopefully. Okay, take care. Bye.